Lottie, can you say hi to the camera, Miss Lottie? You want to come eat some food in here? Lottie, what's fish food? Come get your food, Lottie. There's some food. See, I can tell you right now, she's not coming to get her food because I'm asking her to come get the food. If it was her idea, she would come. So you'll notice she's going the exact opposite way, and she's even going under the bed. And the only time that she comes out from under the bed, because we have grandchildren here and we have another dog here, the only time she comes out is when she feels like she wants to throw up on the carpet or something. And so all she does is come out and kind of and throw out on the carpet with a hairball or something. But anyway, that's our cat. Now we're going to give you a chance to visit our dog. Actually belongs to my son, and they're staying with us right now. And his name is Jethro. See, Jethro is different from the cat. You'll notice how excited he is. And if he thinks we're going to play ball or something, Jethro, where are you, buddy? See, if he thinks that we're going to play ball, he gets real excited. You want to play with a ball? You want to play? You want to play with a ball? Yeah, yeah. Let's go find the ball. Let's go find the ball. Come on, come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go find the ball. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Woohoo! Yeah. So let's find a ball. Let's find a ball. We found this ball. Here it is. And look how excited he gets. Here you go. Woo! Look at him jump. Here you go. Woo! Get the ball. Want it? Want it? Want it? Here you go. Oh! Oh, oh, want it? Want it? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Here's the ball. Here's the ball. Okay. All right. He loves to run and get it. Ah! Oh, that scared me. Okay. All right, here you go. Go get it. He's trying to find it in the bush. Yeah, he loves it. Now I have to fight him. He didn't get it. He just kind of dropped it. He didn't quite understand the game that I can't throw it again until he gives it to me. Here you go. Just drop it. Drop it, Jethro. Drop the ball. Put it down, Jethro. You can't play. There you go. All right, here. All right. Here we go. Here it is again. Look at him, man. He's eyeing it. He's got his eye on the prize. Here it is. Here's the ball. All right, here we go. Go get it. Ah, go get it. Oh, good job. Good job, man. Love the enthusiasm. Love the enthusiasm. And see, if we had our cat, if we try to get our cat to chase the ball, she would just look at you and go, "What? Are you crazy? Me? Exercise, hustle, hurry? You're crazy." But look at that dog, man. He's having a great time right there. He's loving it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little inside look at Mr. Reely's house and Mr. Reely's neighborhood. It's great to see you today. You first met our cat, Lottie. You saw what a great personality that she has. And then you met our son's dog, Jethro. And if you're wondering why his name was Jethro, he named him after Jethro Gibbs from the show NCIS, even though they don't look anything alike. So I'm not sure what the connection is there. And I did that because we're going to talk about cats and dogs. You know, so I talked about dogs a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned that in the Bible, it's mentioned many times, 41 times, in fact. And most of the time, if not all the time, they're mentioned in a derogatory way. Can you say derogatory?
Derogatory.
That just means in a negative, in a bad way. You know, not very nice things said about dogs in the Bible, mainly because they were talking about wild dogs. And it doesn't mean that God doesn't like dogs. That's just the way things worked out in terms of things that were written. But cats are not mentioned in the Bible at all. Now, I'm not talking about big cats like lions. I'm talking about the domesticated cat. Well, I'm using all sorts of big words. Can you say domesticated?
Domesticated them.
Domesticated just means they've been tamed, and willing to live with humans. And there's no mention of domesticated cats at all. And sometimes people kind of wonder, well, why is that? The best answer I've heard is that the Jews, the Israelites, God's people, looked down on cats because they were often used by the Babylonians and the Egyptians as part of their worship. In fact, the Egyptians had 2 cat goddesses. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, they had two cats were goddesses, and I don't know how they worship. I don't know if they went in and kind of went meow, meow, or what you did to worship a cat goddess. But the Israelites wanted to get as far away from worshiping other gods as they could. So cats were just not popular among the Israelites. And so as a result, it didn't occur in any of their writings in the Bible. And I think that might be why our cat Lottie is maybe mad at us a lot of the time, is I think she's got onto my computer the other day because there was kind of a little hair on my computer. And I think she got on there and kind of looked up cat history, saw that we were not worshiping her like the Egyptians did, and she's been mad at us ever since. And so, and I like her fine, but I'm not going to worship my cat. And so she's just going to have to get over that. But today we're going to try to think of some positive things about cats and dogs, because they both have qualities that I think that can help us to be better Christians. And so we're going to look at that today. And I'm going to try to come up with 3 things for cats. That might not be very easy. But I'm going to come up with 3 positive things about cats and 3 positive things about dogs that we can learn from. One book I really like, you might kind of be too old for it, but not really. It's a very well-written book. And I like children's books. And even if they're short and like this, and I like lead them to my grandkids, but a lot of them I just like them myself. And this one's called I Am the Dog, I Am the Cat. And I'm just going to read part of it to you. It's by Donald Hall, and it's illustrated by Barry Moser. And I've always liked this book because it shows a great contrast between dogs and cats. And I'm just going to read a couple of pages of it and show you the pictures, and then we'll get into our lesson. I like this one. It has a picture here of a dog holding a bone. It says, I am the dog. I like bones. I like to bury bones. As for eating, I can take it or leave it, but I like it when they feed me. I am the cat. I don't care whether they feed me or not, as long as I get fed. Sometimes I tease them to feed me, then turn up my nose at what I get. And you saw that a while ago when I tried to feed Lottie. She just walked and got under the bed. Dog. Making the acquaintance of babies. I allow them to pull my hair. I do not like it, but I allow it, for I am the dog. Cat. When babies come into the house, I try to vanish. Babies are crazy. Babies sit on you. And see, I love that because that's exactly how our cat and dog are. That's why Cat Lottie went under the bed. When we have grandkids here, you cannot find her, hardly ever. But Jethro, man, he's right in the middle of it. And they're hugging on him and pulling his ears and just doing all sorts of stuff. I just can't believe he doesn't snap at him. He never does, because he doesn't, because he is the dog. So we're going to get into scripture now. So first, let's talk about cats. I did find 3 good things about cats. Again, no offense to those of you that love cats. I'm just kind of kidding. But even those that love cats know that they have certain quirks. First one, cats are curious. In fact, there's a famous phrase about curiosity and cats. What you remember? You know what it is? Yeah, curiosity killed the cat. And I think sometimes we know that phrase. It kind of discourages us from being curious. But
actually curiosity is a very, very good thing. Some people wander through their whole life not wondering about anything. They're like, you know. And then there's others of you that are so curious, you drive people crazy with all the questions you ask all the time. And so I would look for somewhere kind of in the middle. But if you ever watch a cat, I mean, they'll see something that they don't know what it is, and they will go try to find out what it is, and they're curious, and that's a good quality to have. When you go to the Bible, you see people that were curious, and I would call it a holy curiosity. Great crowds followed Jesus because they were curious about who is this man. They were curious about the things what he was teaching and what they meant. The New Testament is full of questions from the disciples because they were curious about what does this mean? What does that mean? And we can learn a lot from that. We need to have a holy curiosity. Do you wonder at all or think about anything that's in the Bible? Do you read your Bible and say, I wonder what that means? And then ask somebody about it or do some more study, as opposed to be somebody that the last thing you think about are the teachings of God. You have no curiosity because you don't think about it at all. So like a cat, be curious. Now the other thing that's kind of connected to that is cats are also very careful. And sometimes their curiosity does get the best of them because they, go places they shouldn't go, and that's when the accident happens. And so in the same way, we need to be careful like a cat in the things that we do, because you might have curiosity about certain books or movies or things, alcoholic beverages or something like that, and you're curious about them and things that you could see or things that you can taste. And in those instances, curiosity kind of becomes a bad thing, because there are things that in your heart are wrong, but your curiosity overtakes you. So along with that curiosity, you need to be like a cat and still be very careful. Because a lot of times a cat will they will sneak up on something, and then as soon as anything changes, they just take off. They get out of there, and often with hilarious results. But we need to also be careful like a cat. The thing about cats, if you've ever been on the top of a house and dropped a cat off, have you ever done that? No, I'm just kidding. I haven't ever done that either. But cats are known for what? Landing on their feet. It's really an amazing thing. Squirrels are the same way. And they just have this innate sense of their body position, and they'll land on their feet. And that's how we need to be in life, is we are going to undergo a lot of tragedies throughout life, a lot of things that are very difficult. And like the cat, we need to learn to land on our feet. And I take that in the sense of recovering very quickly. A cat is amazing in that they could do something very, very embarrassing. They can knock half the dishes off a table and fall off with the dishes, and they'll land on their feet and just kind of walk off like, I do that every day. Those dishes should not have been there, and they just kind of go on their way and without another thought. Now, that's kind of a simple illustration, but we need to work on recovering after we land on our feet. And there aren't the best suggestion I have on that in a short period of time, you're going to explain so much, is try to move from the question of why something happened. A lot of times something difficult comes into your life and you're going, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why? And that's natural. But as long as you stay in the why mode of your life, you are not going to recover. What you try to have to move on to is from why is to this question, and that is, now that this has happened, what am I going to do about it? What is my response? And as soon as you change it to that question, that's when you will start to recover and to find answers for your life and be able to move on. Now, how about dogs? Ways to be like a dog. If you remember old Jethro out there, How would you describe him when it came time to go find that ball? He was enthusiastic. We all could use enthusiasm. Some of you are just very naturally enthusiastic. You know, you wake up in the morning, you're like, hey, good morning, world. Yeah, hi. You know, I can't stand people like that. No, I'm just kidding. But some people are just naturally enthusiastic. And then there's others that maybe aren't. Maybe your personality is a little different and you're more reserved. And that's fine. But I would encourage you to have some enthusiasm in your life. You know, the Bible says in Proverbs 17:22, a cheerful heart is good medicine. Just being cheerful can do so much for how you feel and how you act on a daily basis. And I just love the enthusiasm of dogs. And then dogs are also helpful. What kind of dogs do you have out in the world that proves that they're helpful? You have police dogs. You have therapy dogs. You have guard dogs. And because they're seen as very, very helpful. I don't know. I have not heard. Now, there might be I bet you there's therapy cats. There might be therapy cats. But I have never heard of a police cat, you know, or a guard cat. Or, you know, because cats in general are kind of into themselves and they're not considered very helpful. You know, if you were dying in an accident, would you send a dog to go try to get help? You know, and you hear stories about dogs going and yipping until somebody comes to find their master who's injured. Have you ever heard of a cat doing that? In fact, I tried once. One time I had kidney stones and I was in terrible pain and kind of delirious. And I was in the middle of my living room floor. And I was so delirious that when Lottie came in, I just, for fun, you know, I was doing something to get my mind off the pain. I said, Lottie, and I stuck out my arm. I said, Lottie, go get help, just to see if she would go get help, you know. And she bit my arm. I'm sitting there dying in pain. I ask her to go get help, and she bites my arm. Okay, so much for cats being helpful. Dogs are helpful. We need to be helpful too. Do you ever just kind of sit around the house when it's obvious your mom or your dad or someone in your family is working themselves to death trying to get something ready, and you're just sitting there and you won't say, can I help you? Be a helpful person. That's a great part of being a Christian, is being helpful. So be helpful like a dog. And also, number 3, dogs don't hold grudges. You know, dogs have I really love dogs. They have like a conscience, you know. You can get on, they'll do something wrong, you go in and you say, Jethro, bad dog, you know, and Jethro will go, you know, he's like, you know, and you know, you do that to a cat, you know, Lottie, she'll just look at you like, what's your problem, you know? But dogs, you know, they don't, you know, you can get onto them and really hard, and then guess what? 30 seconds later, it's like nothing ever happened. In fact, sometimes it's 5 seconds later. They're wagging that tail. You know, they forgot that you even got on to them about anything. And we could be a lot more like dogs in that way. Don't be somebody that holds grudges. Because overall, it really hurts your life more than it hurts somebody else's. When you keep all those grudges, you know, hold up inside of you. Be forgiving like a dog. Just move on. Just move on. Well, I've enjoyed this lesson with you today. I've got a video coming up, and I explain it right before I show the video about dogs and cats. It's great seeing you, and I hope to see you soon when we start Bible classes back. If your family deems it safe enough to come, I'd love for you to come so I can see you in person, even though it'll be with a mask on and from 6 feet away. And I look forward to seeing you. But hold on for the video here. And I talked about curiosity earlier, and I got a little curious. I thought, I wonder if there's any things about with cats and dogs, on YouTube. Again, it's good to be curious, but you also got to be careful. But I found this, it's kind of a competition between Who can sing Despacito better, a dog or a cat? So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what you think here. I don't know who has time to do this, but it is good. My bad. Now here's the cats. Let's see how the cat does. Yet, that doesn't even really sound like a cat. I don't think it is. That's like electronic music. Leave it to a cat to cheat. Can you believe that? Now that's what. Now it's a computer. Can you believe that? You know, the dog's the real thing, and then the cat cheats and uses electronics that sound like a cat. What are you going to do with cats? I don't know. Have a good week.